Alrighty, welcome back to the jungle. We're going to be playing Kayn into Sejuani. And with their team comp, right, they have a good mix of melee and ranged champions, so we could end up going either form. That's the nice part about Dark Harvest, too, is you really get to choose. Suppose this is worded, but my question to you is, who's going to stop me? Who's going to stop me from doing this funny Raptors, huh? Alrighty, Raptors are done. And Sejuani just does his gromp. He does not care. This is a pretty good start. Kayn is very, very, very good at cheesing the enemy Raptors, and this strat just got stronger with the changes in 13.20 because you'll respawn the enemy jungle camps, and whenever you do that, you make them tankier against the enemy. Therefore, it takes them longer to do. Now, that'd be the same case if they're going to clear their own camps, but in this case, messes him up a little. Because if he doesn't do my blue side, then I can kind of be a little bit ahead. But we'll see what we can do, because we want to do this red buff and then find the Sejuani in my red side.
Double kill.
Nice. So let's go ahead and get W level 3 since we can look for ganks here. Oh! A, Q, W. A, moving. Give me a second. Auto. Auto. Q. Okay. Flash. A little bit awkward, but... Aw, no one dies? Let's call it a mid-diff and just reset. This is warded, so it's very unlikely. I can't believe Sejuani just walks right into red side. I thought you would be clearing my red side. They saw me. Like, surely they saw me, no? It is what it is. I think my reset's a lot faster than his, so... Since we got his red side, we can go to the bot side here and try to get this scuttle. If we do both the scuttles and then a full clear... you really want my red buff with like 20 HP. That's a great choice, man. It's a stellar decision. Fight this scuttle, guys. Get in there. My E is coming up. Q. Kill this guy. Moving. Now he'll have his Q coming up, but if we block it, then he can't Q. Nice one. Already close. We're still pretty good to fight the Jinx here. Come on, Amumu, you can't... My teammates are really letting me down here. What rank? You guessed it, Master Tier. Alrighty, I guess I'll just farm. Becoming super boring. I mean, we got a little bit of orbs from that. But if anything goes right, we get like halfway to transformation and then can do a very easy rinse in which we farm all the camps, get level 5, and then look for a play and we'd instantly get form. But this is much slower because we only have the one longsword after the play too. If we reset and get like Serrated Dirk and then clear the level 1 camps, then it's all so much faster. But I guess we have to take what we're given. So Sejuani does that play bot side, so after the Raptors here, we have the option to invade his Raptors or do the top side scuttle before doing our blue side. Ugh. I probably should have ran Ghost this game too, it would have really, really helped in these fights. But I accidentally ran Flash. Ghost is very, very strong on Kayn, especially in the early game, because it helps you like force ganks, and it also helps you get more auto attacks on the enemy. Therefore, more orbs. Okay. So the Azir won't be level 6, so I feel pretty safe going into these Raptors, even though I'm a little bit late. But this guy is moving, like, preemptively, huh? Any wards on these bad boys? Any wards on these funny birds? Run! W. A. Q. Smite. Run! Oh, he canceled my E. Q. See ya. Because if he uses his Q to cancel my E, he's not following me over the wall. Let's clean up the blue side, get level 5, and then we can actually start playing the game. We're still ahead in farm against this guy, but I want kills, I want orbs, I want gold. I want to be hardcore, but my mom won't let me. Alrighty, and then on the reset here, we'll have Serrated Dirk. And whenever you buy more damage, you'll simply get more orbs. More levels, more, like, component items completed, therefore just more orbs that you're going to earn for damaging the enemy. All the meanwhile, too, like... I was going to say Sejuani's not doing nothing, but a Mumu jungle, or a Mumu support, he's born to die. Serrated Dirk, Longsword, and back to the bot side. Now these camps want to give us level 6, so it's not super necessary to do them. So we can try to skip them. Nice, that guy is so low. And where we've taken Sejuani's camps too, she's only level 4. So this play is kind of dissipated bot side, right? They're under turret, they're not really doing anything, so let's clear my camps, and then I'll end my red side clear. Nice, being able to go right back into Sejuani's top side. The Azir should be roaming if I had to guess. And then all of this is getting us closer and closer to level 6, which really gives us a lot of orbs. So I can go into his red side, or I could do this scuttle and then try to dive bot. I'm thinking that I go into his red side. Think. Nice. We got level 6 off the wave. Let's find this guy. Sejuani or Yorick, either one of you. I'm about to get a ton of orbs. Yorick's looking pretty good. They see me, but... Okay. Oh, my Teemo's dead. I'm not really seeing any attack now. They'd have to make a major mistake. If I attack Yorick, this guy is not dying. It's a whole level 8 champion right there. Hello, friend. A, Q, W. Nice. He tanked. Ulti. Q. Nice. I mean, that was a ton of instances of damage. Yep. Gives us quite a bit of orb. So we went from like 25% to like basically 75 because we spent our gold and then looked for a play after that. And when our ulti's back up, we can do that again and then get total form. And then meanwhile, since we had that successful play, all I really need to do is farm my camps. Especially with how slow the game's been going. That is not bad. That's a good swing for us. Because with Kayn, you do want to get a lot of farm, and you can do that in a couple different ways. In this way, we invaded the enemy jungle and we put him behind. And then since he's behind, we have to leverage that by getting these picks and plays onto the enemy team without any response from him. And then, once we have form, we need to leverage that to pretty much do the same thing, like get picks on the enemy team whenever they're trying to attack our allies or just misstepping in general. That's what Kayn is pretty much built around. Okay, and then we'll be going Eclipse first item. Going to give us the most damage that we can get. We really don't need tankiness against their team comp. I want to make it so that whenever I go in, I'm pretty much guaranteed that I'll be actually killing someone. Since we're basically going to get red form guaranteed, that's what I like to build. That's another thing with the build path. If you build the Dirks early, whether you go red or blue form, you can choose Eclipse for red form, or you can choose Duskblade for blue form. They'll both build out of Serrated Dirk and a Caulfield's Warhammer. Alright, let's be careful. This guy's much stronger than us. Just looking to defend the turret, okay? I'm an honest man. Don't hurt me. Q. Don't hurt me. What did I say, okay? Play by the rules. Let's reset. And now with Eclipse, we'll be dealing even more damage. The important part of Eclipse that you have to think about is that it builds out of these Dirks, but then it gives you a little shield. And that shield is worth basically a Ruby Crystal. So on completion, it's very, very strong. Especially for a champion that has to take damage. And at the end of the day, Kayn is a beginner champ, so like he has to take damage. That's how he's balanced. So Eclipse helps us circumvent that initial damage that we take, as well as letting us build a lot of damage early. That damage ramping up our clear speed, and being so much more interesting than building a Gore Drinker, man. That Gore Drinker build sucks on Red Kayn. It's so outrageously like slow and bad, and deals no damage. How do I win if I deal no damage? Alrighty, we got level 8. We'll start maxing the W here. Come on, Amumu. Q. Alt. W. Auto. Alrighty, so then that gives us our form. We'll go ahead and drop the Rift Herald. It's not too important to get like a massive high value Rift Herald as Kayn. I'll just drop that bad boy and then see if we can do the dragon and then reset. If the enemy comes to contest, we do not want to fight them because we don't have form. Okay. Varus chose to die. Yorick, don't do it, man. Amumu, where'd you go, big man? Shit. Oh, God. Oh, give me a second here. Got the dragon. Turn those pings off. I don't want to hear you. I don't want to hear your recommendations. Alrighty, and then second item here. I would like tier 2 boots. So Ninja Tabi are pretty effective against the enemy team comp. So let's go with those, and then we'll be building into Black Cleaver second. Since the mid game is starting, I want to get the tier 2 boots over the AD. At any time I could look for some sort of pick. And with these I get more movement speed towards the enemy, as well as the ability to deal, or to take more damage, playing into the Eclipse. If things were going better, I'd have 2 longswords on top of this too. So I don't want to skip the Ninja Tabi just because I don't have my funny 2 longswords to make it all work out. Sejuani, you hungry? Nice. W. Oh, Jinx is here. Nice. Jinx hit a shroom. She's so screwed. She's so screwed. Oh, she hit another one. She's so screwed. Hello, friend. Moving. Smite. W. Oh, God. Maybe I'm screwed. Okay, not well played at all by me. W. A. Q. And we're gonna have to exit up here. Q. And then we can Q over this wall and we should be good. Oh! Okay, the dust doesn't land. And let me farm my camps, please. Please don't come investigate my jungle, please. Nice, Pyke's mid lane. I get a farm. Alrighty, I did not play that well at all into the Jinx. Why? I was kind of a lazy asshole, I'll be honest. Walking into her and pressing every ability was never an option. Alrighty, that guy's too fed for us. Somehow my raptors are gone. Let's reset. Can spend some of my gold and finally get some extra AD. We'll get the ruby crystal. We don't need the call fields because, again, the mid game is commenced, so nice. We can mix the durability with the damage. I do want to farm my camps before the Rift Herald because my allies don't have ulti. But damn, I don't think I can. Get me in there. Okay. Okay, good hustle. The enemy team's pretty fed, so if they contest this, we do have to bail. It's warded, but I guess we can see because the river isn't warded. Okay, this tells me that Sejuani is just not in this area, so he's probably in the blue side. Don't mind if I do. Now we want to get level 11. Level 11 gives us a second point on our ulti, aka more unfair damage, especially against like a Jinx. And then more healing for us. And then by farming the camps to get there too, that will give us more component items of the Black Cleaver. I think it's pretty important to complete this Black Cleaver pretty quickly. And it's our best second item because it gives us damage. The same way Eclipse functions, like it gives us damage and it gives us tankiness. And it's so hard to beat that. Where they have true tanks in Sejuani too. What are you thinking? W. A, Q. I don't really care to ulti that. Listen, you don't have to ult the tank. It's always like a losing move. Alrighty, so the camps are dead. And now we're looking for a pick. God damn. You guys are feeding. You guys are feeding hard, huh? And if there's no pick, I guess we could just go back to step 1, farm. Because whenever the enemy's pushing like this, right, I don't have to defend that mid turret. If we wanted to defend mid turret, the support AD in mid shouldn't have died.
Your turret has been destroyed.
They're staying on the map, so maybe we could fight Dragon, but they really have to like play it super slow. But I'm level 11, man, and I have a Mumu ulti. Nice, good TP. Look for a flank. If I flank this way, I can get onto Jinx easier. Hello, friend. Nice. Cute. Because I had the upgraded smite, I have 12 smite. He only has 900. Nice, let's push mid. We did it! Because I did nothing, I can win! Just like the last Kayn video, listen, the title was super stupid, like, can you do nothing and win? Like, some shit like that. It's so much Kayn. Whole lot of just farming your own camps and watching the enemies suck. And showing up for work. Honey, I'm clocking in. Yeah, but you make $40 an hour at your dad's, like, accounting firm. Yeah, I'm clocking in today, honey. I'm about to win it big. Oh, there's someone working at Walmart for like $9 an hour. You clock in and make 40. Come on, like, dude. Nice try. Good hustle. Oh, Mumu, don't be sad. Don't sit there like that. Let's reset. We have the Black Cleaver. Time to go home. Oh, Mumu, you failed me once. And you cue the wall. You cue the whole fucking wall. Like, come on. You know, is it my bad for not trusting you, having faith in you? I just need someone to believe in me. Okay. Maybe you need to maybe you just need to be truthful, you know, Mumu? Maybe you need to be truthful to yourself in the situation. And maybe just say, I'm not that good at landing a Mumu Qs. Maybe we can move forward from there. No, I just need someone that believes in me, and then I can land one. I just need some help. Okay. Alright, Amumu. I'll be honest, I forgot what the hell we're doing here. Whoa! Where's the ward at? Let's finish up these camps and then go look for a pick. Now with the Black Cleaver completed, we also have a little bit more ability haste, which helps us with fighting. Not only do we have more damage, but we have more times to just spam that Q and W. Let's go ahead and mess up the map here. Cause a little bit of a problem. The better flank position I can get, the easier it'll be for me to get onto Jinx. But we need everyone just grouped up. That would make more sense here. They're trying to force the play, but nobody's in position to follow up. I want to try to get onto Yorick here. Flash! Oh, nice. Nico got in. W, auto, Q. Nice. We can do Baron, friends. Ow! Ow! Ow, Baron's kicking my ass, guys. I wanted to get my Q off sooner on the Sejuani. The ideal fight is that you lead with Q, because this is such a short cooldown and deals so much damage, so you want to get right on top of him. But as soon as I got right on top of him, Sejuani pressed Q on me. That's kind of lame for me. So then I ended up taking a lot of damage, but with the Eclipse and Black Cleaver HP, I was able to survive, no problem. Like Lethality Yorick, my Ninja Tabby probably went insane too. So we have a couple options. We can get Armor Pin or we can get just Armor itself, and I feel like Armor is way better. Especially if we do it like this. Sejuani, Yorick, and Jinx, and the Pike are all dealing physical damage. I don't have to worry about the Azir so much. Usually with mages you don't have to, unless you're overtly diving, which happens later into the game. So we can get magic resist later. We also have the dragon stacks, so as soon as that bad boy's up, we'll be looking to farm it. But since we did all those plays topside right, we want to clean up our red side camps. 1 to get some XP, and then 2 to get them respawning. So after all these plays coming up, fighting for the dragon, pushing with Baron, I'll be able to farm some respawning camps that are higher level, therefore giving me more XP. Because if you don't do that, that's how you fall behind. That's like, if you don't respawn the camps, get more XP, that's how you fall behind and lose. Go for a fight, die, like, what a combo. W. Nice. This is too much. Nice, Azir overcommitted. W. I'm all about the dragon, guys. I'm not committing to a stupid dive, okay?
An ally has been slain. An ally has been slain.
Q, W. Auto. Q. Auto. W. Aw, ulti. Q. Oh! Good Q by him, huh? Well, give me a second here. You funny guys want to start that dragon up for me? No? Understandable. Sorry, sorry. Tito, come on down. Ah. Flash, moving. Dodge Q. Auto. Moving. W. Oh. This guy's fast with the Ghost Blade. Yorick's not supposed to move like that. W. Okay. Hopefully you can see too how the ability haste just goes crazy. Same with the Eclipse shield and damage, like... Oh, it also gives you movement speed, so whenever you actually hit them, you can stay on top of them. Could have taken this turret. Let's farm. Let's rinse this guy's camps. Where the Sejuani died, like, we're gonna make her pay. The same way as taking her camps early keeps her behind. Right now she's level 11, so if there's no camps for her to farm, she does not get XP. Not over. Since we have the Death Stance, let's reset, clear the camps, and then Baron will be coming up soon. From here, I'm just thinking I could get Magic Resist, or I could just get the Shireldas here. Shireldas would be like our final damage item. Since we have 3 items, usually around 4th or maybe 5th, that's when you want to look to get a Last Whisper item, and Shireldas is basically always your go-to on Kayn. This gives you percentage armor pin, making your damage scale into the late game. If you don't have it, your damage will fall off for the most part. Luckily with Eclipse as well, what makes this item even more beast is that it gives you percentage lethality, or percentage armor pin on each completed item. Yeah, let me get Gore Drinker. Let me get Gore Drinker. I think I can win with that item. I'll heal 100 HP. Sejuani, are you serious right now? W. That's right, skedaddle. Get on out of here, Buster. I'm stunned. I'm knocked up. Q. Q. Sejuani, don't you know? I don't have cooldowns, partner. Get him. Okay, Amumu, we're believing in you. Okay, he's done it. A, W, A, Q, A. Good job, Amumu. Let me give you a thumbs up. The kills go sideways here, but it doesn't matter in the slightest since Baron's not up. I'll just go ahead and farm the wave. If that guy's gonna get away, we do not care. Mumu, that was my wave. Let's get level 16. Baron's coming up. I wasn't really watching, so I have no clue how my team managed to die. Let's recall him by the last whisper. Like, armor item, armor, 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 armor. Pyke has very high base armor. And then even, like, level 14 Jinx, she has an okay amount of armor. Alrighty guys, Baron time. I am level 16, I don't get stronger than this. Our ulti now deals 700 and then heals us a lot more. So we're looking for a pick and then looking to start Baron. Noob alert. Nice. I can have a flank on these guys. Nice, he has no Q. W! Huh. Not the guy I'm looking for here. Everything's missing? I think I'm out, personally. Run! The Varus ulti goes wide, I think I'm leaving. W! A, Q, A. Nice. They're dead. Job's done. Ouch. Hello, friend. My E is coming up, so maybe I could gimp the Jinx. Never mind. The wave shows me. Alrighty, we got the picks, we got the Baron. Next step? Push. Push. Kill those funny bad guys. Oh. Noob alert. Q. W. Q. Nice. One noob down. What? Oh. Well, we don't have any waves pushed. I don't have this completed item. I guess I'll just stay on the map. Close. W. Oh, if I was faster, my bad, my bad. I queued away as if Pyke would hook me. Come on, don't be scared. Hit that funny turret. Come on, Azir can't go in. We got a Mumu right in front of you. I gotta make it more obvious, huh? Whoosh. The E will give you vision over. Whoa! W. Q. Run. W? Oh, come on, Amumu. Yeah, Pyke's gonna reset the Jinx, and I don't want to be anywhere near that. Fuck, I'm right next to it, huh? Ah! I think I canceled my auto. You guys are making it real difficult. You're making it real interesting, huh? Well, if that slows things down, that's for sure. I guess I could get magic resist at this stage. The Azir's not hitting me too much, but we only have 67 magic resist. So we could turn this into a Maul. We could turn this into an Abyssal Mask. I would prefer probably the Maul because that gives me AD. The life steal isn't too useful for Kayn though. And then the magic damage shield isn't too useful. I guess I could also just go Silvermare Dawn. It's whatever. These items just kind of suck. That's the thing. But we already have so many AD items too. Like an Abyssal Mask outright wouldn't be the worst. Because it sets up everyone on my team for more damage. Everyone has magic damage. So... But, as you can see, they're a little bit of a noob, so hard to say. Amp their damage, or... You know, amp their damage, or I don't know. So, all the objectives are down. We failed to, like, siege and end, so now we're back to the farming stage. Hello, friend. Hey, Q, W. Damn it, he's walked away. Oh, I missed all my W's, damn. It's gonna back off. You say so. Auto, Q. If I hit one of those W's, that would have been easy. My team has destroyed an inhibitor. Why don't they do that when I'm on their screen? Oh yeah, I want to say the magic resist helps against Yorick too. I feel like his maiden deals magic damage, but I'm not sure. No one's sure. No one has ever read Yorick's abilities, be honest. Okay, 1 minute until the objectives. We can get Dragon Soul, and we can get Baron. Really, they don't kill? At least they got the Sejuani low. Ah, close. Damn, I don't have Smite up either. We're not contesting. We just have to care for Jinx Rocket. That's easy. Time for Baron. Let's go ahead and look for a flank. They do have the Sun Disc, but it's not that tanky. Hello, friends. We'll just go for a ride with the Azir here. Oh! Q, W. What is this guy thinking? Noob alert. See ya. Alrighty, GG. That is going to be all she wrote. Mr. Kayn. Final score 11, 2, and 10. With Black Cleaver dealing 3k, and then Eclipse dealing 15 and blocking 36. Not bad. Alrighty, well, I hope that gave you a better idea of how to play Kayn. He's one of the champions I'm very, very much enjoying playing. I was having trouble with Red Kayn, though, because I was building Gore Drinker, but now with the Eclipse and into Black Cleaver, it makes everything make sense. So... Alrighty, hope that helps. If it did, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. And if you're interested in getting better at League of Legends, check out the Metafy link below. Peace. Bye. See ya. Bye, coaching.